Welcome back to the music podcast. This week we have a very, very special guest. So I know I'm very excited to talk about, to bring on, to speak to. And we're going to kick off the same way we do every time. But firstly, welcome, Biz Barclay. We are so happy to have you here on the podcast. And we start every single podcast with over and underrated. So I'm going to name some artists and you're going to say if they're overrated, underrated, or maybe they're just rated fine. And that's absolutely fine. So the first act I'm going to throw your two way that you can listen to, Florence the Machine.
Underrated or rated, but one of the two.
I would say Florence and the Machine is very, very underrated.
Yeah.
Charlie XCX.
I also think underrated because I think that I Love It is one of the most fun things that I've ever heard in my life.
Absolutely. Westwell.
Overrated.
Well, you're going to get a lot of hate for that from our fans.
I know.
And next one is Lord.
Rated, appropriately rated. I love Lord, but
yeah, rated just fine for Lord.
One of my favorites, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
part of me wants to say overrated because I feel like most people just have the t-shirt and like don't.
You're breaking my heart here. You're breaking my heart.
As far as the music, I think they're great. But I know so many people who have that one shirt and they couldn't like name a single song and don't even know it's a band.
You know what? I see that a lot with Red Hot Chili Peppers and with the Rolling Stones. Like so often I see like the tongue out. And
Yeah.
like, do you know 3 songs? That there should be rules against this. Westwell, what are you thinking?
I think I love Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think they are underrated, but I think it could be easy to say that they're overrated if you only just know the the big ones. But I would say underrated because they've got so many great albums and they're all so talented. But yeah.
Oh, the live show is absolutely insane. Okay, amazing. That is over and underrated. We're going to come straight into your origin story. We want to uncover some of your artist roots and early influences. So can you tell me what your first ever memory of music was?
I first ever memory, I feel like I distinctly remember going to see like a Barney live concert. It was like my first live thing. It may have been a play, but there was definitely music. I was like 4 years old and I vividly remember like losing my mind at like 4 with that. And then I was just always like in like theater. I was always in like little plays and like we did talent shows and I was just like always I did like a little dance at summer camp to Hot Blooded when I was like 6 and I was obsessed with that song for years afterwards. So yeah, and my dad also listened to a lot of like classic rock and he used to have Crazy Train as his ringtone and that's a big memory for mine.
Oh wow. Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a big range there, isn't there?
Yeah, sorry, I do talk a lot also.
But I love that. The fact there's such a range in the music of you coming up and all the things you were listening to, I think it is absolutely incredible. In terms of kind of later on, maybe teenage years, did you ever watch a music performance that completely changed your perspective on music? You watched it and thought, wow, I want to do this. Do you ever have that kind of light bulb moment?
Yeah, I remember watching Dodie a lot on YouTube when I was younger. Like we're like about the same age and we're like coming up kind of like growing up at the same time. And I was like watching this person who was like looked like me and like was doing like just like writing music. And I was like, you can just like write whatever you want. Like that's like it just like had never really occurred to me that like I could just like learn songwriting by like writing about doing the dishes or whatever. And so that was like really influential on being like, oh, I could physically do this. Like it's not like a different otherworldly thing.
Hmm.
And
That belief obviously led to some of the amazing songs that you've written. Do you ever get emotional listening back to any music of yours, or is it kind of like no, and you kind of switch off once it's out, or is it quite because it's almost like a little part of you being released, isn't it?
oh, it's a big part. Yeah, it's a big part. I don't know. I think I haven't listened to a lot of my older stuff since. I wonder if I would. I think at the time, like Gomorrah, particularly my first EP, was like is extremely emotional and like is very long and dramatic. Uh, and I feel like, but I had like been working so hard on like the particulars of the music and like that I was sort of numb to the like essence of it. And then it felt like a big like release when it was done. But I haven't really listened back to it since. I think I probably listened to some of them in like August, but like that's the like, so I wonder now if like looking back it would, because there are some lines in there that I think I probably I would curb if I was doing it again. So I wonder if they would make me emotional to hear them like out in the world again.
Maybe you should try it tonight. Let us know like how it is, what happens.
Oh my God, yeah. I'll just have I'm just gonna pour a glass of wine and listen to myself sing. That's
I want to know. Obviously, I played you out on the show here in the UK. That the fans absolutely adored it. How has social media affected the way you connect with fans, and what's been your biggest challenge with social media as well? Because you're a musician, you're a creative. Is it a chore to you, or is it something you really enjoy?
it's definitely something I really enjoy. I kind of have a weird like relationship with social media because I do music and then I also make these like monster video essays. So I make these like 3 to 4 hour like philosophy videos about things that I'm interested in.
Can
Uh,
you give me an example? What kind of things do they do?
yeah, so this is like kind of how it all started. I made a video about the television show Midnight Mass, and just like religious interpretation in TV shows because I grew up uh, Catholic, and you can tell. So I like made this really long video about it, and it was like 2 hours and 58 minutes, and I really wanted it to be 3 hours for the sake of it. So I put my demo on the end, like just like a demo of me playing a song called "Burn Down the Farm," and people asked to put it on Spotify, and then I was like, oh, okay, and so that's like sort of where it started, but. Yeah, so it's like I have
How old would you have been at that time, if you mind me asking?
that was in 2022,
Okay.
2021, 22. Yeah, very, very recent. I only started taking music sort of seriously as like a thing I wanted to do post COVID because I was like it was always just like for me, like I was doing a lot of songwriting, but I never really thought I had like a voice to like be a singer. I was like, I don't really sing that well. Um, and then when you're stuck alone and I was doing acting and stuff before, it was just easier to just get better and keep writing. So
Right, well, that's it's so interesting to hear that, and obviously, in such a short space of time, done some incredible things. What's the hardest lesson you've learned about the music industry so far?
um I think the hardest lesson is that like you have to learn to say no and like be like you have to trust your gut, especially when you're like working with other people who like I work with producers and I don't have like a music production background or like a music theory background. I only know as much as I have ever learned to write. Like I'm self-taught on everything. So like I really had to like learn throughout, especially making that first EP, how to be like, no, like I do want this. I want it to sound like this. I know that you are like, are you sure it's like the third and the fifth or whatever? Or like, I don't know if that's normal, like to be able to say like, no, I definitely want to hear it like this. And also to know when you to like take advice, like kind of trusting your instinct and learning like, okay, like I wanted it like this, but we changed it. And if I still wanted it later at the end, then maybe we'll change it back. But sometimes it's when to take advice and when not to is a hard lesson.
Absolutely, and I feel like speaking to people in the industry, getting referrals, people they work with before is really key in that aspect. I speak to a lot of artists, and that's what I say. I want to ask you both this question. I want to bring Tom in on this, guys. If you could take one album from another artist and claim it as your own, what would it be and why?
That's a fantastic question.
Good question. Um, I mean, I know the answer. Should I go if you're
Go.
thinking?
Yeah, if you know it.
Okay.
But I thought it was
My
one of these where you're still thinking,
my favorite album, greatest album ever made is Bitter Ruins 2014 album Waves is like
wow.
my favorite thing. I low-key gatekeep it. I won't tell people because that I love it. Because
I genuinely didn't think you would. I would never have guessed that from you ever.
oh my God, it's my favorite album. And like Georgia Train's still doing such amazing work, and I follow them so closely. It's I think I remember the first time I heard Tom Thumb, and I was like, it like rocked something in like me about writing. And yeah, I and her like her voice is insane, and I think it's so like vast. There's so many different things. You have the like twinkly folk music, and then it's got these like really aggressive like string moments. Yeah, it's I think one of the best albums ever. I wish I made it.
I love that. Westphal, what are you thinking?
I think you could probably guess what mine would be, Josh, but Skinty Fear by Fontaines. It's such a great album. The sound on it is so good. So the guitars and the aggression and they get that so perfectly like poised. Um not so that it's too overbearing, but like just enough like bite on the instrumentation. Lyrically incredible. So many like deep references to where they're from in Ireland and sort of their viewpoints on you know uh politics and Irish like folklore and history and stuff like that as well. So
The delivery of some of the lyrics,
exactly, and
incredibly well.
yeah, Korean Chatten's songwriting lyrically is fantastic and so much like nuance in there that if you get into it, you start like really understanding it. But yeah, that's an incredible album, and yeah, that's one that I would wish I could have had the ability to write.
So something that's really shocked me, like I ask a lot of musicians that question. Both of you have gone for relatively recent releases. Normally, when you ask this question, you get people that, yeah, these are albums from 10, 20, 30 years ago. There's kind of a repeat, but both of you have given me answers there of um, a very recent and a little bit unexpected, really. Not because they're not great music, they are, but um, do you think that's due to the amount of music you guys listen to because you're in the industry, or is it just something where you feel like you've connected with that on a deeper level?
I think like probably a little bit of recency bias. Love like these are the out like the musics we've been listening to most recently, so of course they're going to be the ones you relate to. I do think sometimes like it is easy to think of like oh I mean I'm sure there's tons of the top 100 greatest albums of all time that people could read out and say, yeah, I'd want to have written that one. Well, of course you would have done, but like something that's actually personal to you is probably actually a little bit more important. Something that you're genuinely like, yeah, I like that because of what it is.
Is
Yeah, I
that
think
the same for you? Is that it kind of the nuance of it?
sorry, what was that?
So is that the same for you? Like, is a recency bias, or you just feel like you've connected with that deeper than you ever have on an album before? Because maybe now you see it from a musician's point of view rather than just a music.
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody wishes they made Rumors, right? Like, everybody wishes those big, famous, phenomenal albums. But I think when you're talking about like when I get asked that question of like what I wish I made, it's like what are the elements of it that I really value? Like why do I love this album? And why I felt like I wish like because I'm like, oh, it could represent me. Like I wish I was represented with this like level of musical and lyrical like finesse or whatever. And I think it's more recent stuff that we listen to as you're like what do they say? Like when you're a teenager, it's like the most fundamental, like it has the most impact on you. And that's when you're like learning how to form opinions and like how to make like music and how what you like. And so yeah, I think it's definitely also that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, amazing, guys. We're going to move on to our next section. These are the fan questions for Mr. Westwell. We've got quite a few come in. I'm going to have pick some of my favorites. So thank you for everyone that's entered. Lois has asked the first question, Tom, and she said, which band would survive the longest on I'm a Celebrity?
Oh, One Direction.
Katie's asked, "Hi Tom, really loving the podcast. Which indie pop band do you think secretly wishes they were a heavy metal band?"
Ooh. Oh, there's got to be some out there. Wishes they were heavy metal.
Yeah. Biz Barclay, I'm going to bring you on this. Can you think of anyone?
Okay.
Any indie
Um,
bands that wish they were like proper rock and heavier? I think of them.
yeah,
I'm going to
I
get Circa Waves. What about you?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what any band I would think. I mean, my first thought was just like to think like in vibes. Like I do think that they're not indie, but I do think that the 1975 do wish they were like hardcore rockers. Like I do think
Yeah,
that Matty Healy wishes he was Kiss. So
yeah.
that vibes, but I don't know many.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. Max has asked Tom, um, Tom, if you were a pedal effect, what pedal would you be?
Reverb all day long. Reverb. Didn't need any time to think about that. I'd be a reverb pedal.
And why?
It's just the best pedal. It's the one that always brings the most happiness to myself. So yeah.
Amazing. Right, I'm going to go on to my music marketing genius of the week. I'm sorry, guys. And I'm going to choose Coldplay. And the reason I'm going to choose Coldplay is for their huge sustainable gig package. So they wanted to do a fully environmental friendly show. And a lot of the promoters and team in the background said, no, it couldn't be done. And the band really put their foot down on this. They wanted to hit eco pledges. And they absolutely smashed it. I mean, from every little detail, the flooring, as people jumped to the songs, were creating energy, which powered the show. All of the crew drove in electric vehicles, every little detail you could think of, which was incredible, and really is like an industry first, because they really got their backups, said, no, this is our vision. If you want us to play your arena shows and make you money, these are our demands. And it was a massive success, and they got a lot of sponsorship deals out of it, and people really pushing it, which I thought was amazing. Now I'm going to pass
That's
over.
that's probably not their most viral bit of marketing that's happened for them recently, is it though?
No, actually,
I
that
didn't know about that.
didn't get viral. Was nothing to do with them. It was an unfortunate. Well, would you say it's unfortunate? Maybe it was the right
I
thing
don't
to happen
think it was unfortunate for
for him.
I think it was fortunate for everybody except for them two.
the, yeah, the people involved.
Unfortunate for them, very fortunate for us. I had a great time.
Do you think they thought it would get like as big as it did? I mean, it made global news in every corner.
Oh, they probably didn't, did they?
Yeah.
It's
I think that they probably knew. I think that they instinctively, because he dove out of screen. I think that as soon as he did that, I can imagine him being like, fuck, now they know, like, oh, sorry. But like now they know that I'm not supposed to be doing this, and now someone's gonna look me up, that kind of thing.
Man, like imagine like that journey home, knowing you're going back to your wife and kids, and oh my God, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. Okay, we're going to move on to Westwell's music quiz.
okay, yeah. Let's do that. I'm nice and prepared. 2 seconds, guys. Right, so I'm gonna give some events from music history. There's going to be like a 2000s theme to this. It might be a little bit more UK centered, but we're going to give it a go anyway. So I'm going to give you an event in history, and you've got to tell me what the date is that happened. You're playing against each other, and I'm gonna just have a guess. If you get the year spot on, you get 2 points. If you are the closest one, you get 1 point. So the first question is, Arctic Monkeys released their debut album, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, becoming the fastest selling debut album in UK chart history. What year did that happen?
2003.
I was gonna say 2004.
Oh, the answer is 2006.
Oh,
Oh,
All right. Block Party released their critically acclaimed debut album, Silent Alarm, helping define the post-punk revival sound. What year did that album come out?
2010.
not gonna lie to you, don't know this album. I'm gonna go 2008 because we're saying pop punk revival.
Well, you are closest for that. So It's only
A
2 points.
great educated guess there.
The Libertines, led by Pete Doherty and Carl Barat, released their self-titled second album before their chaotic breakup. What year did that happen?
I honestly don't know. Libertines. It would have been, I think, post Oasis breakup. So I'm going to say 2011. Am I way off? That's
Way
really
off.
bad. I'm gonna get an A for this.
You are a lot closer. It is 2004.
Wow. Is it 3-0? Am I getting beat 3-0?
You're getting beat 3-0.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, it's just whoever's closest?
Yeah, whoever's closest. Yeah, you don't have to get it spot on.
I also haven't gotten any of them right. Like, I'm not exactly winning, losing less attention.
Franz Ferdinand won the Mercury Prize for their self-titled debut album featuring the hit "Take Me Out." What year did they win the Mercury Prize for that?
Oh, Christ. Oh, 2011.
I was gonna say, was it 2009?
2004.
Oh, we're killing it.
Florence and the Machine formed in London, beginning their rise to prominence in the indie art pop scene. But what year did they form?
They've all been earlier than I thought, so I'm going to go 2003.
2006?
It's 2007. I think we know our winner already. Final question.
Might be well beaten this week.
Proving the least wrong is
The Kooks released Inside In, Inside Out with hits like Naive and She Moves in Her Own Way. What year did that album come out?
That album is behind me on my wall there. And I don't know what year it came out. I know it's around the same time after Monkeys, so I'm going to say 2008.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 2009. 2009.
2006. I'll give 1 point to Josh there.
Good.
Now, normally he smashes it. Normally he beats every single guest that we've got on, but you are the exception this week. So congratulations.
Well, they're well beaten as well.
It's the greatest honor to just be the least wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fully, half of those I was like, I have no idea what he's talking about. I'm just gonna throw some dates out.
I love that. Right, I want to know a little bit more about you, Biz Barclay, in terms on a deeper level, maybe a little bit away from music. What's a topic of conversation you could talk about for hours that I wouldn't know?
I mean, what several. I've done it online for several.
Give
I
me.
could talk, I mean, I can talk about like probably books and literature. I could talk about Lord George Gordon Byron, the sixth Baron, forever. I've been working on a video about him. It's kind of a running joke on the channel that like everything is Lord Byron, and I can pretty much bring him up at any time in any topic because
That's a skill.
yeah, he was just so prolific and so wild. And for context, he was the poet in the 19th century, and he just was like constantly in debt, drinking all the time, just like having affairs with married men and women of all shapes and sizes, and just running out of the country, like because he was just constantly running from debtors. And then also had this amazing poetry, and people were writing like subtweet books about him.
I mean, if there's a topic to talk about for hours, it's very interesting to be able to dive into. I have to say, Westwell, you're quite introverted at times. What's a topic of conversation that can get you going and you can't stop?
I'm a big sucker for history. Maybe not Byron as much, less literature history, but yeah, I'm a big old fan of the old history. I tend to like more like I guess you'd say like late medieval.
That's a real time frame you've gone for there.
Yeah.
What would you say mine would be?
Yours?
Hmm.
Speedway.
I thought you were going to say marketing there, but we'll take Speedway. It's probably a step up.
No, everyone knows you love marketing, but Speedway is your real niche.
Right, I've asked this question the last few weeks, and it's really stumped people. With your background, I'm so excited to ask you this, right? If you can know the absolute and total truth to one question, what would you ask?
Oh my God. Ah! To one question, the absolute truth. I was just thinking about this actually, and I forget what I said. I would want to know who, I want to know where the paintings from the, I think it's Sarah Gardner Museum are. It was it's like I think it might not be Sarah, but I think it's the Gardner Museum in Boston. They were like stolen by like people dressed up as like fake cops, and the thing is that they just never found them. And I really want to know where, because they're somewhere, unless they were
If you
destroyed.
found that out, what would you do with the information? Would people believe you?
I think I would let it go because I personally am of the opinion that everyone should be like, hey, if you have them, you won. No more charges. Just tell us where they are. Like, I think that they won. I think
Pardon.
they did it. Like, you got them and you kept them away for so long. Can we just look at them again? Like, that's what I would do. I would probably, it would depend on who took them and why.
Hmm.
Right? I'd be like, yeah.
I'm so interested. I know all these. I thought I knew about you. You've gone completely off my script to where any of this would go. So I wanna try and bring it in a little bit. I love it.
Yeah,
I want to bring it
sorry.
in a little bit. What would you like to be remembered for?
I think I would like to be remembered for someone who did their very best and tried really hard and like in everything. 'Cause I feel like that's kind of all we can do in, in terms even just like in relationships and music and art and everything. Um, that would be, I think, a good thing to be remembered for. So work out.
Yeah. That's a beautiful way of putting that. And my next question is, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice before starting music, what would it be?
Aside from don't dye your hair blonde, which is probably the first thing I would tell myself is don't do it. Before starting music, I think I would tell myself to start music sooner. I wish that I had started and like, been like I wish I'd been like, hey, you don't have to be Adele to sing. You know what I mean? Like you can be fine, and if you practice, you will get better. So like start now. Because I felt like I had a lot of, catching up to do in the last couple of years, and I wish I had started a few years earlier.
I think that's amazing. Absolutely brilliant thing to hear. There are a lot of people, I think, say comfort from hearing that. Westwell, I want to come to you now. I think this will be good for the fans who might have an opinion on you already. Do you have a guilty pleasure song that would surprise the people listening?
This was me, right?
So both,
No.
both of you.
Okay.
I've got so many. I'll be very honest with you. I will got tons.
Go for your most embarrassing.
What? I don't need to do that, do I? My most embarrassing?
It's not the Uji we choose it.
I don't think that I'm guilty about anything that I listen to. I proudly listen to. I listened to the Lemonade Mouth soundtrack the other day. I've listened to that but I think that the song that I think probably surprised people is my favorite song and my go-to karaoke song is Here I Go Again by Whitesnake.
Love that.
Only song I will do at karaoke because I hate karaoke. And I will run to that song. I will clean to that song. One year, there were two different versions of that song in my Spotify Wrapped. My top mask. Really, there was two different versions of Here I Go. It's just 2024.
See you, mate. Have you found one yet?
Yeah, search it up. The Ketchup song. It's a just search it up. It's like pure like mid I don't even know, like 90s Euro pop. I love a little bit of it. So yeah, search up the Ketchup song. But you got to listen to the Spanish version. It's the better one.
I could imagine you popping away to that. I know your Mercedes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right, guys, we're going to wrap it up then. So that's it for today. Remember, great music deserves great conversation, and this was no exception. Biz Barclay, thank you so much for coming on. Everyone at home, Go check her out on socials. Go check on Spotify. Like an unbelievable artist. She's going places, and it's an absolute honor to have her on. Westfall, what do we say before we leave?
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for your time. We'll see you next week, maybe.
Let's bring you the very best music industry and go, go up. It's a bunch of right now. Uh, it's the it's the Beloved paved way. Since there's so much incredible talent, come on, even on music venue on the islands, it's incredible. I went to streams, I saw some bands, sort of Pill, and I saw videos, so they were incredible. The Pill, the set was just perfection. Oh, the Yoda Two Sisters, like the songs were incredible. And I have deep back found artists like the Optimists and Ruby, like it's so good. For young talent coming through in the moment, find me a best